Again, a reminder, please silence your phone. If you need to talk star in your phone, go ahead and please take your call outside of the building tonight. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now and just wanted, and she just walked in the door. Malia Davison from 211. Gonna have the Star Trek salute now. I'm gonna make my own 211. Yeah, 211. We always want to remind you to dial and call 211. Use that program, as we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, to get any support and guidance and navigation that they can help you with. So we're always going to remind you about that. Malia is here to help with any questions during our Q&A session at the end. MauiRecovers.org continues to be a big part of the information source. Please use that. Give us feedback on it, how that website is doing. And if you need support, always at our Wednesday meetings, we have counselors here. We also have a group of faith practitioners here. They're here to pray with you and are available to you at the middle white table there. You can also dial 988 if your phone has an 808 area code. Please use these support as often as much as you can. None of us will ever disagree that this is a very difficult time. Tonight, we have a very short agenda, but we wanted to respond to the questions about the Lahaina Aquatic Center that's come up. We've told you that we would come back to you with a little bit more information on what is involved and the status of the Lahaina pool and the structure damages that we're experiencing there. So tonight you'll hear from the director of the county's Parks and Recreation, Pat McCall. He'll be offering an update on that. And of course, you'll be hearing from Colonel Swenson, our favorite colonel from the Army Corps of Engineers. Colonel Swenson will give us his update on how the debris clearing is going. Last Saturday was the Wahikuli Neighborhood Planning Workshop. So that had almost 200 folks attending. Pretty exciting. The previous weekend or a couple weekends before that, we did the one for Kilauea Mauka, and this one was Wahikuli. The rest of Lahaina is waiting for their opportunity. We will be announcing those dates. It will be in June, as soon as our committee, our community planning team is able to segment out and identify what parts of Lahaina will meet on which day and what that schedule is. Those will, I'm told, will begin in June, and we'll announce those in the media, but we'll also put it on the Maui Recovers site. And as a reminder, if you did not sign up for text or email alerts from MauiRecovers.org, please do. Just click on the box that says notifications, sign up, and you get this wonderful note that says, just a reminder, community meeting tonight, or what's happening this weekend, or any major significant announcements. So please use that, but you need to go on the website and sign up for notifications. So again, we'll resume these in June. In May, we had those two, and then we'll continue on from there. Before I call up Mayor Bisson to offer some comments, I did want to let you folks know as a follow-up that FEMA tables, the table for FEMA support is in the back there. And also, we are continuing to look for a time when we can announce the Central Maui meetings for those of you who are interested in not driving to Lahaina, if you've temporarily located elsewhere on that. The SBA folks are here as well. They're over there in the blue shirts, and they want to make sure you know that they're available to talk a little bit later for mortgage holders, for refinancing, as well as mitigation information for mortgage holders, for homeowners. So they're there. Can you wave in the blue shirts? There you go, Elena and Cynthia. Okay, they're standing now. Red shirts, Army Corps. Red shirts, American Red Cross. Blue shirts, SBA. Uniform, Colonel Swenson. EPA has their red, white, and blue patches in their gray shirts. So a whole bunch of us are here. Oh, I just saw Mayor. Oh, Mayor, would you like to add?
Aloha, Lahaina. Again, thank you folks for coming out again today. So first of all, just a little informal. I started my day today up in the pineapple fields of Hali'imaile, where we're going through the Maui Nui Marine Resource, I'm missing a word, program. So that's why I was dressed this way today. I wanted to talk to you guys about something we announced recently regarding short-term rentals. This is a question of a lot of interest from a lot of people. I just wanted to explain some of the steps that we were looking at from the county administration, because there's going to be two more groups that are going to evaluate this. That is the Maui Planning Commissions, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai, and the County Council. They're going to make decisions. They're going to be open for testimony from each of you, anyone else watching. Just to be clear, we are not trying to close every short-term rental on the island. That was not the proposal. And that's sort of being put out there as if that was the request. We're talking about a very specific group. Some of you may be short-term rental landlords. Some of you may have used them in the past, so you may know. There are three ways that people have a short-term rental permission. One is you built it in a hotel zone that is allowed to be in that area. So pretty much you can consider every hotel as a short-term rental. Every hotel room is a short-term rental. So you can have it there. The other way you can have it, which is pretty common, is your neighbors, you advise your neighbors that you are going to use your residence as a short-term rental and you get their permission. I think it's 50% or more have to agree that you can have it in there. And then you get a permit from the county. And I believe it's every 2 or 3 years. I don't think we have our planning permit guys here today. So that's another way you can have one. The third category was called the Minatoya list. And these were units that were built in apartment zoned areas that, I won't get into all the legal back and forth, but became grandfathered in. We have tried to change that. The county previously has tried to make changes to the rules, to the laws, to the ordinance. So we're bringing that up again now because we're in need. There are about 2,200 of those units that are on this side of the island, the west side, and there are another maybe 5,000 or so throughout the county. So of course, there's going to be some very passionate discussion on this topic, and feel free to weigh in if you're someone that is either impacted, even if you're not impacted and you want to have a say. Again, you'll have a chance to go before the Maui Planning Commission and also the Maui County Council, and ultimately they'll decide. All we did was submit actually we didn't submit it, it was submitted by Councilmember Kiani Rollins Fernandez, but the administration supported putting that legislation before the people. We didn't change the rules or change the laws. We submitted something to be considered, and it's going to have to be voted on by the council. They're going to have to decide. So if you want your voices heard, feel free to contact them. Again, this is a very specific category. And if there are any questions about that at the end, I'll do my best to answer those. And again, I don't want to get into any moral judgments if it's a good thing or a bad thing as an owner. Just the fact, what we're really just talking about is the location. We're not talking about whether that industry, not making any judgment on the industry. It's just the location. Where's the correct places for those to be? So I just wanted to share that as an update for tonight. And I know we're going to get, should I introduce Colonel Swenson? Is he our next speaker? Sorry, we're not. Sorry, that was just a test if you're awake. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Paulton is on the mainland attending a conference. Interestingly enough, one of the major topics is wildfires. So she sends her regards. She's unable to be here tonight, but she's working hard, learning all that she can learn from the conference. She was the one that was mentioning this program that we were anxiously waiting for a public announcement on. So we just announced it the other day. This is the Homeowners Assistance Fund. It's accepting applications. It's $7 million under the federal COVID funding program. So it's tied to that. So I know it feels odd to relate it to COVID, but there are funds available. So if homeowners who are displaced by the fires could be eligible for up to $60,000 for mortgage and other qualified housing expenses. So if you need more information, it is being administered by Catholic Charities of Hawaii. And the email is on the bottom, or you can call them at 808-873-4673, or go to catholiccharities.hawaii.org/housing. Tonight on the table to my left, on the far end, the white one, there's a flyer that you can also pick up that talks about the eligibility and the application process specific for this program, the Homeowners Assistance Fund. So this is the program that Councilmember Paulton has been talking about, and the county, our administration just announced it the other day. We're going to call up the American Red Cross here. We have a couple of their folks from the national level visiting us. I'm going to turn this over to Mary to help introduce them.
Thank you, Mahina. Aloha Lahaina. I'm Mary Simpkins. I'm doing external relations on this operation. First, I'll give you our numbers. Our overnight shelter count reflected 1,550 individuals representing 615 households. To date, we've served with partners over 1.5 million meals. So we just continue to support our clients and cheer them on as they find that next step solution. And with us tonight is a special guest flying over from DC, our Vice President of Disaster Operations and Logistics, Brad Kaiserman, who had a few words he'd like to share. Thank you.
Aloha Lahaina. I have to say, I travel all over the country responding to disasters, and I have, as I said to Mayor Bisson, I have never seen a community come together the way I have seen Lahaina and Maui come together in these wildfires. It may be difficult to appreciate that given all the frustrations that you're facing, but please take it from somebody who's from the outside looking in. You have an amazing community that's come together for you. I'm reminded that normally when I'm in a gymnasium like this for a disaster, it's filled with cots because this is what's usually where you shelter people in a disaster. But because you've had, to be honest, and I have no political affiliations here at all, you've had really creative and courageous leadership, both by the mayor and at the state level, which has allowed for this non-congregate sheltering program that's been going on. We started with nearly 8,000 people. Today, we're approaching less than 1,500 because the others have been transitioned into stable housing solutions, not temporary hotel rooms. And so that would not have happened without the creativity and the compassion and the leadership that we saw from the mayor and from the governor and others. Believe me, I've worked on many other disasters. Normally, survivors would still be in a place like this, as opposed to in a hotel room or in a condo. And as frustrating as this is, and believe me, I understand how frustrating this is. My grandparents lost everything in Hurricane Agnes in 1972. That's why I'm in the Red Cross, because I saw what happened to my grandparents. That disaster broke their heart. And I know what it says on the death certificate, but that's not really what killed my grandparents. What killed my grandparents was a broken heart and a lack of support and a lack of options. And as frustrating as this may be, I see this community coming out for each other and providing support and providing options. Lahaina will come back strong. And we appreciate being a part of this response and this recovery. We'll answer any questions we can for you. We're here before, we'll be here after. We're not going anywhere. So thank you very much, and thank you for having us. Mayor, thank you. Appreciate it. Mahalo.
Thank you, Brad. And he didn't want to take the limelight today, but I do want to introduce you to our disaster relief operations job director, who's a local community member who stepped up to answer the call and dove right into a level 7 response, and he's been great. So Mike Stark, Stand up. Come on, you're tall. Let him see ya. Tallest guy here. If you have any questions for him. Thank you.
Aloha, Lahaina. How's everyone doing? Boy, I'm pumped. I got great news for you. Little C cleared as of today, residential, 963 properties. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will, because when we get to 100% complete or as close as we can, and you start getting those building permits issued, I mean, that's the next step in this journey to having your Lahaina town back in a better, more resilient manner. In terms of capital C complete, we're at 379. So that's ROEs complete, turned in, back to the county. Those are properties that are going to be ready for 4-leaf and the county to start issuing permits soon. And we got 20 commercial lots cleared as well. So progress all around. I just want to kind of put this in perspective. I got up here on the 1st of May at our last meeting, and in between then and today, that's 115 properties we've cleared in seven days. So, and really, it's really about this community, right? It's really about this community, and I think a lot of you have been driving around, and you can like me, you can see the progress when you're driving down the highway and you look up or down. Obviously, you'd be a passenger; you wouldn't be looking up and down if you were driving. But it is noticeable difference. I also want to give a quick update on housing. So we are building, again, we are not the end-all, be-all cure for the housing shortage here, right? I mean, we're helping with debris, which will help you get back to building your homes and places for your ohana to call home again. But we are taking a small bite out of the housing problem by building Kilohana, which is 169 units up Malka of Ainakia, up around Fleming Road. There'll be some heavy earthwork going on here starting in a week or two, and it will require some blasting. It's pretty dense rock there. We're going to have the contractor's going to have a couple of town hall meeting and be passing out to some notifications to neighbors who might feel a little bit, but we're going to manage it really closely. I'm going to be putting out updates at these meetings, and just know that I know it's going to be a bit of a maybe you'll hear it during the day, but it is a sign of progress. And the faster we get it done, the faster we get that lot graded, we can get those homes placed, and we can put people in more permanent, stable housing. And I also want to say that, like, there'll be a little bit of blasting. You might notice a slight uptick in traffic. We're going to do everything we can. We're working on routes to minimize the impact to the community. But if you're out driving around, you just might see a few more trucks, moving through the area. Again, these are all temporary construction impacts, and as fast as we can get it done, those impacts will go away, and we'll give your Lahaina town back to you.
Thank you, Colonel. We're going to call up our director of the county's Department of Parks and Recreation, Pat McCall, to give us an update. I'm going to turn this clicker over to you. And it's on the right.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out, and I'll try to make this hopefully as clear as possible. The Lahaina Aquatic Center, as you know, was affected heavily by the fire. The good news is we were able to shut down all of the equipment, the pumping and filtration system, prior to the ash getting to the area. So the filters, etc., at this point, most of them, from what we can project, are in good shape. The plan as we go forward, in November, we had the company come in and do a complete assessment of the entire facility. And we got the report late December, and we put together the plan. We're having the water tested, and when the results of the water, those tests comes back, it'll tell us where that water can go, whether it has to go through DEM, whether we can use it somewhere else or put it someplace else. So its final destination will be determined by the test. Then the pool will be drained, a cleaning and sanitizing of it done along with a structural assessment. Now, in the preliminary assessment, we do have some delamination of the tiles, and at that time, we'll decide whether we need to replace just a small amount of tiles or remove them all and go with the preferred product would be something, I'm hoping I pronounce this correct, it's called Hydrazo. It's a plaster product instead, and it is a desired replacement for the tiles, if that's the direction we'll go, which will depend on the assessment. At that time, we will also be able to clean up all of the pump room area. And we had a contract in place prior to the fire that was converting the pool. We're converting actually all the pools in the county over to a salt filtration system. We've already done it in the Upcountry pool, the Molokai pool, and it's with Johnson Controls, with our contract with them. So at that time, they'll come in, they'll be replacing some of the pumps, the surge tanks, and installing the equipment needed for the new system. And at that time, we'll also be able to determine whether or not the pool filters will need to be replaced. That once all the pumps, everything are in, we can do that. And then we will also need to replace the deck equipment. Some of the severe damage to the facility was not done by fire. It was done more by the wind. And so some of the scoreboard, for instance, the shade structure, a lot of the deck equipment will need to be replaced. And right now, the early estimates on all of that, a total of this is somewhere between approximately $3 million at this point. So we will be engaging in that over the next several months. More information will come out as each step is completed. But as I stated, that first one will be the water, and then the water coming out, the structural assessment thereafter. And that will point us in the direction. We just don't know which one it will be until we get the final results. That's about it for this one. Just to echo what a lot of other people have said, we thank you for the support that you've offered and how coming together, and we hope to get at least this facility as we want to get it back up as soon as we can. And when that is done, it's another step towards the old Lahaina.
Okay, short agenda tonight, but we have our entire team here. And a couple of more announcements. Next week's meeting will be downstairs in the social hall because for real, they're kicking us out of the gym so that they can use it for other things. But on occasion, you'll find us back up here if we find that we have a big meeting, which is going to be the next homeowners meeting. We're going to do a follow-up homeowners meeting that we'll be announcing later, and that will likely be up here because the last one we had was almost 500 people and more than the capacity of downstairs. But next week we'll be downstairs. But for tonight, we have with us, of course, we have Red Cross, we have FEMA, we have representatives from EPA, Army Corps of Engineers, the Federal SBA administration. We also have our Parks Department, and Mayor and Emergency Management is here as well. I know I saw Everett somewhere. And we'll do our best to answer any and all of your questions. As always, if you raise your hand, if you're here with us, okay, I see one right there. I see Sharon with a microphone. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Yeah, she'll bring you, yes, in a red shirt, followed by the fellow right below her in the black shirt. Go ahead, Matt.
And referring to the swimming pool, you mentioned maybe $3 million. Is that going to be budgeted so that it can be done?
Yes, it is. That will go in as when we can get the final numbers in as a budget amendment to council, and we don't expect to have a problem getting this.
Aloha. My name's Martin Tuttle. I'm a homeowner now, property owner at Haina Nalu on Waianae Street. And I want to just have a question and then a comment. I'm a former city manager and regional planner from Sacramento. So my thought is on the water infrastructure role is that if there's a way for the county to continue to get this awesome federal support, I mean, the work that's been done on the recovery, I mean, great job by the mayor, by the governor, but the resources that the federal government has brought to Lahaina is just unbelievable. And we had an issue on a streetcar project, a transit project in Sacramento when I was there, and we neglected to do a funding agreement. The comments by the project manager was, don't worry, President Hillary Clinton will take care of this. And then we know that it changed. And I just want to emphasize that if you can do, and if I can help at all, execute the funding agreements that you have, do it this year. We had all kinds of support for our transit project, but 4 or 5 months later, it evaporated and the Federal Transit Administration was locked. So you have a lot of momentum. Take advantage of it. You know, there's no time like the current. And it is a fantastic job in terms of where we're going. We have a lot of work to do as a community to rebuild. But my point is these funding agreements, don't let them slide. Please execute those, no matter who is in the administration in the future.
Okay, thank you for your comment. To the fellow right there in the black. Yeah, one more. I know you had your hand raised. Go ahead.
I have a question regarding about SMA permits. So my family has purchased a lot back in 2018. We hired our archaeological to draw a plan, and then we submitted at 2018 on December. So 2 years later, from 2020, we got a bill for waters to get sewers in, and we paid that bill. And from I think a few months from that, I got a paper says they deny our drawings. So we made revisions and we resubmit that to planning departments. And then a year from that, we're just waiting for SHPD to get approved. And later on, a year later, 2023, they told me that we need revisions. So we have to go in, hire archaeological firms to go in to dig that lots by hand, shove it 20 days. So we pay another 20 grand on top of whatever we pay for archaeological drawings 2 times and the excavation done. So we submit that to SHPD for SMA approval. Since 2018 till now, even still, I'm still waiting for approval on SMSA permit to get approved. So if you guys can make it faster to get approvals with SHPD on the states.
Thank you. That's a super complicated question for all SMA permits, and with SHPD, with the State Historic Preservation Agency, being a state agency, we are having a specific meeting related to SMA permits because it's that complicated with land use regulations. When we're done, can you come see either Cynthia Lalo right here, the mayor's senior executive, or myself, but hand us your information. We're going to check it through with the planning department. Okay. Thank you, sir. Go ahead in the middle.
Hi, my name is Kessa. I was from Lahaina, born and raised. I have 2 children that swim for the Lahaina Swim Club. And my first thing is a comment that I think that the timeline that was announced tonight is absolutely unacceptable. And I think more can be done for the children of Lahaina. There are dozens and dozens of kids that are now not swimming or driving to Kihei 5 to 6 days a week. So please rethink your plan and maybe try to speed that up. My question is, this past spring, we went to the state championships in Kona, where they have this amazing facility, this pool facility that puts the Lahaina facility. It's an embarrassment, actually. My understanding is if we were to get corporate sponsors, fundraise to do upgrades and make the aquatic center better than it once was, can the county commit and promise to use that money directly to the pool as the way that the community wants it to be done? Or does the county decide where that money gets to go?
I'm going to let Pat respond, and I can tell you we will not be here to promise you tonight. But as far as the process for accepting that kind of donation, if there is one, if we've ever entertained that before. So Pat, do you have a comment on that offer to solicit sponsors?
Yes, thank you for the question. There is a process by which donations to the county are accepted. It goes by resolution through the county council, and it must be specific as to where the funds are spent. So if that were if that occurs, it's a possibility. Yes.
Hello.
Thank you. Oh, I see the microphone went up front. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, they stole your mic, Cynthia.
She handed it to me.
Okay, go ahead, sir, and then we'll go to the woman in front who raised her hand.
So I'm Bob DeZotel. I'm president of Lahaina Swim Club. We have a lot of our swim
Sir, I'm going to
parents.
ask you to hold that microphone
Okay.
right on you.
Thank you. We have a lot of our parents here tonight, and just a small number. Before the fire, we had in excess of 100 families swimming every day in our program. A big chunk of that were learn to swim kids. Probably, 50, 60 learn to swim kids every day, trying to get the youth of Lahaina drown-proof. It's a huge thing. We got water all around us. We got a lot of kids who can't swim. So our program, besides having a competitive end of it, we have the learn to swim end of it. And right now we're trying to keep the program together. We had 32 of our families lose their homes in the fire. 32 of the 100 and some lost their homes. Their families are not living normally. The kids are trying to stay in hotels and condos where there's no place for the kids to get exercise and this and that. So it's become a health issue for a lot of our families. So when you take it all into account, it's more than just a community swimming pool. It's an asset, it's recreation, and beyond the swim club, it's the high school teams, the water polo teams, and then the kapuna who do their water aerobics. It's a lot of people that are affected by this. Now, I'm a 40-year general contractor, and I put in lots of swimming pools, and I've been involved with this pool for 25 years. The pool was hardly damaged at all. I was there days after the fire in the facility. Fortunately for us, the power turned off at 6 in the morning. The fire didn't happen until in the afternoon, so we didn't suck anything into the system. There was no power to run the pumps. So I was there. My home is on the same street, by the way, so I know of which I speak. The pool itself, it was drained down about halfway down, and now it's been filled up, and I know why you do that. You want to keep the grout wet and stuff in the pool, but there's probably 200,000 gallons have been pumped back into it again. The one question I have is the EPA pumped out the 505 building. The line went right past my house and went to the retention pond just beyond the skate park. They pumped way more than the 300,000 gallons that would take to come out of our pool. They ran an 8-inch line or 6-inch line, and pumped it over there and then took it down. And I understand they offered to pump the pool at the same time and were turned down. That be as it may, that was a great facility. It's 500 feet from the pool to the retention basin. It's all set up to take that kind of water. So however quickly you can get that water tested, the EPA guys are camped out in the Boys and Girls Club. They're all there. Can't somebody go over and check the water and expedite this thing? Because then we could get this thing done. We could clean it up. And we don't care about the scoreboard. We don't care about the shade cover on one of the shade areas. The main shade cover, by the way, is still fine. We need the water in the pool, the pumps running so our kids can get back in and practice. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, and anything you can do would be great.
Thank you. And I see Director McCall furiously. Cynthia, right here in the front row, she had her hand raised. And then we'll go to the middle and anyone else on that side with the blue hand. And I see Director McCall furiously writing down notes. So I appreciate that suggestion and that thought. Go ahead, ma'am, in the front.
Hi, I live in the Short
I'm
Pit.
going to ask you the same
Oh.
thing. There you go.
I live in the Short Pit neighborhood. I use the pool 3 times a week with the old lady water aerobics. I'm in the Short Pit neighborhood and I love the pool. But my question is, it was great that they came in and they removed the debris from our property. However, they didn't remove everything. There's stumps, and extra fire debris on the property. And I'm just wondering how we would go about getting it completely cleared.
Thank you for that question. I'd have to get your exact address to see if we're completely done with it. We do it in phases, and then the last phase, we do a final walk and remove maybe there's a tree left or that didn't get taken down because of timing of crews. So that could be it. We are not taking out stumps. That was a conscious decision. I know it's a concern. I now have a stump in my yard, but the program does not remove the tree stumps. But if the tree has a blue dot on it and was marked for removal and hasn't been removed yet, it's likely because we haven't finished your lot. It may look like it's close, but we may have not have that last signature. But if afterwards, if you can give us your address, we can look it up and check the specific status. Yeah. So on my team over there in red, with their raising their hand, just give one of them your address and and your phone number. We'll give you a call back tomorrow and let you know what the status is. So thank you.
So
Thank you. Right there in the blue. Go ahead with your question. Yes.
Hi. Oh, sorry. My name is Aina, from Lahaina, and Tessa is my sister. So my question is related to the health part of the pool being open, as well as the parks. I know that maybe some people are seeking some form of therapy, maybe not. A lot of people, are like, I don't know. That's like our community. That's how the people are here. We handle with each other. But we handle with each other in ways that we engage outdoors. We go to the pool, we go to the beach, we go to our kids' sports games, we go walking, obviously all our daily routines have been messed up, right, for a long time. And I feel like I just saw that up there saying that in 3 months, we're gonna know the timeline for the pool getting back together. That's what it said. So I'm thinking, okay, a month after the fire, can't do much. I'm wondering, just curious, first question is what we've been doing in these past however many months at the pool. Do we need more resources? Do we need more help? Do we want community involvement? I guarantee you, we would come help. Like there's so many people that would come help. So I know it's a safety thing, whatever, but that goes to the parks. The parks, we need parks. The rec center down there, it's fine. I mean, I would send my kid right now. I don't know if that's stupid, but we need it. We need that community. We gotta mow, we should water. But the houses along there, the Shark Pit area, those need to be cleaned up, bottom line. And I wanna know what we can do to make this a top priority, because we're sitting here waiting and getting more mentally unhealthy because all the things that we had once are no longer in Lahaina. So how do we make this more of a priority? How do we get these testings in a quicker time? Because if we're all told to sit here and wait for stuff, like just wait and not have any agenda or timeline, how long can we wait? Like, that's the true question. I don't know how long I can wait. My kids are struggling. I'm struggling, and I'm getting therapy. But us as a community, like, we need these things. And I feel like there's a detachment between people that lost everything and the people that didn't lose everything and making decisions. I feel the sense of urgency is really strong with us. And I don't know that anybody has that sense of urgency that are making these decisions. We're freaking dying over here, literally.
Thank you, Ina. I'm gonna see Director McCall. I know you're writing all your notes. So the question is there anything that the department can do to accelerate the process and avoid any delays? But more so, how do we accelerate? And is there a way, and can you come back to the community to offer that? Okay. I hope I got the most of that.
And thank you for your comments. The urgency that I understand, the timing is slow. And what I can do is I can go back and I can push. We've recently formed the plan has come together, and I can push, and we can, through your office, we can release more information for those of you so that you're not in the dark. I understand that as well. So we can work towards that, and the best I can do is continue to communicate where we are at the time. And yes, we are trying to make it more of an urgent matter at this time. I do want you to understand part of the issue has been when we get usable water at the area, which is coming back, and we're good. We're getting there. And I'm in communication with the water department, and it's the question that comes down to the quality of the water. Is that what we can use in the pool or not? And that's part of some of the testing that's going on. So I'm not an expert on that, but I will look that up.
We're going to come back to you and continue to give you updates, and we'll stay connected to the Parks office. And I think we're pretty clear on asking for a quicker process and solution to it, and what's getting in the way that we can do it differently. We're going to... We're going to go back and look at the swimming pool plans, because I think that's probably the priority is what I'm hearing tonight, and then continue on back and let you folks know where we can accelerate and what that gives us in terms of the time frame. Who's holding the mic down here? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was Myrna. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I asked this question last week and they said they would have an answer, hopefully.
Okay.
But we're looking at where are they looking at relocating King Kamehameha Third School? And the reason I'm asking, one, because planning takes too long, and two, I don't want us to get lost in the shuffle where we're going to end up being absorbed into the school at Pulelehua.
So we have a question with DOE on the status of that. We couldn't get that answer in time for tonight, but it is on our standing questions. Good, you came tonight to remind us. Come back again. But if you also want to let us know how to reach you, we can just give you that answer. But other people want to know too. So as soon as we get that response, we'll share it. I don't know that they know. Myrna, did you have a question? Okay. Oh, sorry. Now everybody knows Myrna has a question. Yes, Myrna.
What does she have to say? Myrna, born and raised Lahaina, generations. We lost house, everything. Anyway, My question is, I live lately, we're fortunate, our house didn't burn, it was smoke damage. Okay, we got a water bill like 3 months later, and I disputed it because the water was not safe, but they still billed us and they continue to build us where I don't feel safe drinking the water. We got it tested and it was very, very high levels of chlorine. I don't know even how safe that is. And then when I spoke with the county guy, he was like, well, are they certified? I go, hey, that's not the thing. It's like, it's our health. We decided to move back into our house because people were ripping us off. Things were missing. So we decided to go home, not safe, try to do our best to stay clean. And you can't drink the water and they bill you. So I don't know if you can help me with that, Mahina. The other thing is, okay, 60 years of going to Sandbox. I don't want to be the grumbler. We cannot even go down there anymore because I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean, but that one strip right there, the family's giving something back to us. I live right here. I won't even go down for fear of whatever. And some of them, yeah, are Lahaina people, but I think we should give them a better alternative so we can go in the ocean. I don't want, Wahikuli sandbox right below here.
We heard from others about the Wahikuli Park situation. We have received a lot of requests for a return of that park and other parks for the community's safe access and comfortable access. We're also required to fulfill particular things anytime we take care of anyone houseless. Notification come into play. It is not unheard. I will tell you that. And we do have some plan right now currently in the works because of that. So I just want to assure you that it's not unheard. We heard it a few meetings ago and people want access to the beaches, safe for the community that needs access on the beach to the shoreline. And I can't remember who the fellow was that was talking about going diving and then coming out and also facing with that. So thank you for that. But I will tell you it's top of mind for us. Okay. I will look into the water bill thing. I know you're talking to Kimo Landgraf, the deputy. Sharon, you have a question on the top, and I know Kaliko down here also has one. Go ahead, ma'am, your question.
Thank you. Kind of piggybacking what they had said about like if the community wants to help do some sort of fundraising, like for the swimming pool or for the parks, does the county parks department have some sort of, this is what a picnic pavilion costs, this is what a park bench costs, this is what a playground costs, so that if we want to reach out and do some fundraisers to improve our community and make our parks better and create more pocket parks throughout some of these congested neighborhoods, does the Parks Department have I understand that we can earmark something if we do a fundraiser and said we'd like it to go towards that, but is there kind of like an expense breakdown so we know how much we have to raise and what sort of approvals and that sort of thing for the type of things that we'd like to fundraise for?
Pat, do we have a community giving program or project giving program?
We can generate that list for you. If you come and see me after this, I will get you the contact information for, we can go ahead and communicate that out to you. And that price on various things. Also, it will, as time goes forward, prices won't stay the same. So just keep that in mind, but we'll have that discussion.
Thank you. Kaliko?
I have a couple of things I'd like to add into Aina and Kessa's comment and Auntie's comment about the beaches. I was just there. My brother, it's going to be about 11 years since he's gone to heaven. And if not all of us, many of us have sent our families to heaven right in front here at post office. And when I was there, I observed a couple things. My brother-in-law went into the restroom to use the restroom, and underneath him in the changing stall, if you're from Lahaina, you know where that changing stall is. That changing stall was a shower for somebody, or they were cleaning the shower or cleaning the stall. Because as my brother was using the bathroom, the water from that station was going all over his feet. Hino can move, he's using the restroom. So I'd make a very large, I'd really, if I could yell, I would yell, that we either patrol the place, don't just send a county worker to clean the bathroom. Because the clothes are hanging in the bathroom, the water hose, that spigot that's against the wall is now going in the bathroom, and the sidewalk is very unwelcoming. I would encourage you, I have lots of brothers and sisters, and now we force our way down that sidewalk because no less aloha, but we'd like to use the restroom without somebody else's shower on our feet. And I'd like for my children to walk around the bathroom and not be in fear of what's on the sidewalk or who's in their tent. So my encouragement is, I know it's at the top of mind, but please transition that to the top of heart.
Thank you, Kaliko. I saw a hand somewhere. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
My name is John Conrad. I'm the athletic director at Lahaina High School. Echoing sort of on Ina's comment, I don't know if everyone heard it at the end, but she was suggesting moving from Shark Pit down, Puamana Shark Pit down, so we can access the parks and the pool from the south direction. Now, I'm in the process right now of planning for fall, winter, and spring sports. And the transportation that we've incurred this year just to get our kids home, no matter where they live, we'll get them home. Now, I know a lot of that money's federal. That money's drying up. So we're in the process right now of losing a lot of kids. And I'm not talking about athletes, I'm talking about students. Our population is going to dwindle. And this is bound to happen because there is no housing here. But my question is there any potential to expedite the southerlymost cleanup going north along the highway and on Front Street so we can make that area clean and safe, so we can access the parks, so we can access the pool, so at some point maybe I can get a permit down there? Thanks, Pat.
Oh, go ahead, Colonel.
Well, that's a great question. I said we're at 963 today. We did 115 lots in the past 7 days. The number of rights of entry that we have is fairly a finite number. It does grow a little bit. We get a couple more each day. If you just bear with us for about another month and a half, 2 months, residential debris removal, as you know it, will be substantially complete. Right? There'll still be some little bit of work going on, but right now it's purely a math equation, right? And our slope is 115 per week. We're at 963, and the denominator is not to exceed about 1,500. That's if we had every ROE, and we don't. What we're getting closer to that goal. So I can't put 25 crews in Puamana and in the south. I can't put 2 crews often on the same quarter-mile stretch of a road, because I then create traffic challenges, and I actually slow my operation down, and I'm absolutely not interested in slowing anything down at this point. We want to get it done. But I recognize your concern, and we will look at our maps, and we will look at where our crews are actively working, and we will try to create opportunities, especially on the fringes, where we could get more, get some momentum and potentially be able to allow the county to kind of shrink the perimeter a little bit to give the community an opportunity to get back in sooner. Now, there's all types of other concerns with that. I just talked to you earlier about housing project and an increase in trucks that's going to be, coming in for a short duration of time, but it's going to be a duration of time. And public safety is our number one concern. So I can't sacrifice public safety, but I recognize that what the problems that you're describing and that Aina described are also, public health, which is also public safety. I probably didn't answer your question. I'll let you follow
you
up.
did. And just to follow up, I understand logistically that is your thoroughfare. That is your thoroughfare for pretty much everything coming from the north to the disposal site, right? So I understand that you cannot just allow people to come and access the parks and the pool because they're going to be crossing that traffic, and I get that. My question is though, if we can, like, when are you guys done working? Like, if it could be utilized after you guys are done for the evening, when there is no flow of traffic going for debris removal in that direction, could that be potential if we can get the parks up and running? At least start with the parks, water, cut, maintain, we can get the kids playing again, right? The pool may take a little more time, maybe not, with maybe a little bit of private public funding, right? I get that. But I think there can be ways to creatively, like the gentleman here had said, creatively put into place to accommodate the need that is needed now, but we need it sooner than later.
Yeah, all great points. We're committed to that, but we have to do it with the greater public safety in mind. So, we're constantly meeting with the county and the state, trying to work out traffic plans, trying to deconflict, travel routes to make it as safe as possible. And I think that's certainly something we can continue to work towards. And like the pool, if I can accelerate the timeline, I'm happy to give that advice to the mayor and to the county council so they can, ultimately, they're the ones that control those access. But, my thoughts and concerns certainly go into the decision that they make on how they restrict, what the restrictions are for traffic, right? Because we're all trying to get power, water, sewer, debris, and housing, right? Those are the 5 things that we've got to do to get this town ready to emerge again as the new Lahaina town. But I will take that back for sure.
Colonel, before you leave and hold your question, we had an online question.
Yep. So I got an online question. I'll read the question. It says, what is going to happen to the few houses that don't have the right of entry? Question mark. Will we be delayed on moving forward with our plans? Question mark. So the county has announced an ROE deadline of 15 June. At last count, we have somewhere around 50 homes-ish that we call the TMK, tax map key. That's like the piece of property, the owner of that piece of property have not reached out to the county or their designee to have a discussion about rights of entry. Those are the people that I want to have tea with. And I've been trying to drink coffee or tea with them to explain this program. And I've had a few of them that we've met with, and there are some extenuating circumstances of why people have not opted into the program. And we are trying to provide information and encouragement. And this ROE deadline of the 15th of June should certainly, help focus people on making they're going to have to make a decision. I don't think, and I'm not going to speak for the mayor, but I don't think if there's a home in your neighborhood that has not been cleared, that you should not be thinking and working towards getting a building permit and starting to build. There are homes in the impacted area where people are living. One of the people here today said they're living in their home. There are people in the impacted area that live in their home. Homes around them have debris, and they're the ones I know are very happy. They're very happy to be back in their home. We have done everything we can to treat the soil, the debris, to keep the ash down. I think if you've been out in the community on a windy day, you won't see ash blowing around. And that's because we put soil tack down, which is like liquid Elmer's glue, and it just locked everything up. The only time that there could potentially be ash moving around is when we're doing debris removal, but we have water trucks and water tanks on every site to keep any possible debris, on the ground and make the air safe. And we are doing 24-hour continuous air monitoring, and we've yet to trigger an air monitor. So we're doing all that. So I would say if a house in your neighborhood has not had its debris removed, I had my foot on the gas, and yours is capital C complete, and you're working with Four Leaf and the county to get a permit. I would say put your foot on the gas and get your house, your new house built back on your lot. We will continue to work with the county. We will continue to work with landowners who haven't opted in, and we will. If your house is going up while we're still doing debris removal, we will do everything we can to keep any errant debris contained and get it to the temporary disposal site as quickly and safely as possible. That is our commitment, and I think what you've seen in the 963 properties that we've cleared, we have fulfilled that obligation to the community. And did I answer the other part of the question? No, you won't be delayed in moving forward. I don't think you'll be delayed, at least not from the Corps' perspective.
Thank you, Colonel. Mike, did you want to add to that? We have Mike Renner here from Four Leaf, who's operating the recovery permitted.
Thank you. Yes, the Colonel's crew permit process, even if your lot's not fully cleared, you can still start the application process. And I encourage people who are working with architects or engineers, come in ASAP, the sooner the better, and we'll get this all processed and in place.
Thank you, Mike. Cynthia, you had a question back to Ina, and then the front row, and okay, and then we'll go there, and blue. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, sorry, thanks again. This Colonel Swenson, I just want to know, this is not a question for you. This is a thank you. You guys are doing a great job at driving past the Waiakuli Terrace area, seeing the houses. It's good. It's also good to see that. I feel like I don't know if that was a priority because it's something that we all saw, because in my opinion, and just my opinion, it's the first to kind of all be done. So good with that. If we could kind of take that same incentive to go do by the pool and the parks, that would be super cool. I know nobody sees it, and I know it's not an eyesore to everybody driving by, but it would be very beneficial for us as a community. Also, so if we could get those ones along, I'd feel safer, or even the netting stuff up, the air dust. But there's a back way from the pool to, there's the old cane roads, there's all that kind of stuff. So that as an option, just thinking outside the box, just wanted to see if that could be a potential route to the pool, to the parks, that would kind of take you out of the whole equation of the in and out of the check centers. Yeah, so that was just, is that a possibility, I guess, to cut a road from the pool, or just make a road better from the pool up to the bypass? Or
Okay, so Colonel's going to answer that. We're going to take the mic away from Ina just so that we can give these people a chance to ask questions. Gentleman still waiting. 2 questions ago.
I have one for
Oh, we
Todd
have
too.
one
I
up
feel like
there.
he's left out.
So
but-
Ina, he's going to answer a question. We're going to move on.
So Ina, I don't know if I can answer that question fully, but we meet with the county leadership multiple times a week, and we talk about these type issues, and we'll circle back. The Corps will write it down as a do out. We'll circle back and see if that road is, if we can work with John Smith from Highways and Jordan with planning, and see if we can't solve. This is a problem we need to solve. I think we've heard you. We just got to do it.
Thank you, Colonel. The gentleman in the black has been patiently waiting and holding the mic. Go ahead, sir.
So I'm unclear on really what I want to say. but I'm listening to the back and forth with the community and the officials. And it's obvious, and as it should be, that getting everyone home, clearing the lots, that's a priority. And I applaud those efforts. I'm in the trades. I see you guys working in my neighborhood, Wahikuli. I watch the progress. The logistics of that is much bigger than most people understand, and you guys are doing a really good job with that. The community that I don't think you're hearing keeps answering questions. They're asking questions that aren't related to housing. And housing is the most important. I'm not in my house in Wahikuli either. But we can't live like this while we're waiting. You notice, Mr. Mayor, he came in, he didn't have that, I believe he didn't have that lei on. Am I right? Someone gave you that lei.
Correct.
Look how much better he looks with color. Yeah, we're missing some color in Lahaina. Our kids, our pools, our beaches, our community. So without getting too emotional, all of us are asking for the same thing. Yes, please do what you're doing. Keep pushing with the housing, but don't forget about the parks, our beaches, our way of life. You know, I was lying on the border. I'm from here. I know what I want to see come back. I believe we can all come back better, but we can't just wait till it's done to add the color. We kind of have to start now. You know, we don't want to live in boxes. We don't want to live in one-bedroom condos. We want homes and we want color. We don't have homes right now, but we can have color. We didn't lose our parks. We didn't lose our beaches. We didn't lose our pools. Let's focus on bringing those back. It's an opportunity for you to shine, Mr. Bison. Make Lahaina can still be beautiful. And you keep coming back with the same answer. And I know it's important. You're a military man. That's what you do. I get it. I'm in the construction trades. A lot of us are. We know what you're up against. Add some colors for our spirits and our souls.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go to the front here, and then we have some people waiting. So, Cynthia, right after that, there's a woman up there in white, followed by a gentleman, Sharon, and then a guy right at the top with the red hat's been waiting for a while, too. And then some two on that side, Sharon, also. Before we move to your question, ma'am, if you'll give me a second, I just want to say, and I know our entire team feels this is why we asked Director McCall to come tonight and to get information going. And I see your team came from the swim club and the school, and I love seeing all of that. And I saw some of the kids who are part of your swim team in the audience. Actually, I was trying to figure out what the red shirts were. Sorry. We were like, are those Army Corps? Can't be, because you came as a unit, so we were like, who's that? So I'm so happy to see it's a swim club, it's together, it's Lahaina Luna, it's all of that. Your presence here means a lot. When we're moving forward, a few months ago, we brought our leads from the focus groups, community planning, mental health, all of that, health and safety. There are so many things moving simultaneously. And some were not really good at sharing how that progress is. This is one of them. So we are committed to do better at that, especially after hearing tonight, returning of the Wahikuli Park, access to safety, pools, and recreational spots. So we'll keep that as our standing update to you as well. I think that'll go a long way. So I just want to mahalo for that. It was a big deal for us to hear from you. Ma'am, thank you for waiting, and then we'll go to you.
So tonight, we've got Lahaina Luna's scholarships are being distributed, so that's a conflicting thing with, a bunch of our people. John's here, I'm here. I'm just wondering, several meetings ago, there was comments that at the Pumana area that the pump 6 was not working, and that was one of the reasons that those structures were not being worked on. Is that been resolved? Is pump 6 up in Adam? Has the lateral lines been cleared down in the Pumana area? Is that what's holding part of this up?
Do we know EPA? Are you talking about the sewer system? The water line? Are you involved at all in that one? Okay. Pumana? Okay.
I was out there the other day. I met one of the sewer department reps, and there is some degradation to the sewer lines in the vicinity of Puamana. I don't. It's a bit outside my wheelhouse. I don't have a great answer for you. but I know that the county is working on it.
Okay, and I feel like we need to bring our infrastructure guys next week to try to help with a little bit more questions on that. We're gonna go to up there in the white, and then Cynthia, there's a fellow in blue over here down in the middle, and then back over to Sharon. We'll catch her first and then come back to you. Go ahead.
Aloha. We are on both sides of the fence, if you like. We lost our home in Lahaina. It was my husband's home of 40 years. And we also own a short-term rental in Honokawai. We are at the moment working with FEMA to lodge a family there. I know we could live there, but if we live there, then all we have is expenses, because of course there won't be any income anymore anyway. We want to put up a family at our short-term rental. I heard more than once that, for example, a unit was approved by FEMA like in January, and up to this day, nobody has been moved into this unit. So it seems that there are units that are approved yet empty, yet people are still moving from hotel to hotel, sleeping in cars, or not even in cars. Now, I also understood that FEMA starts, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, that FEMA starts paying whatever FEMA pays the moment the unit has been approved. Let's say the unit was approved in January. FEMA starts paying in January, even if nobody has moved in yet. My understanding is that we start with 1 year rental, possibly twice 6 months adding on to that. My question is, when does that year start? Does it start when FEMA starts paying in January, or does it start in May or June when finally a family can move in? Because you're either, where does the year start? Do you take away months from the family because the year started January? Or do you spend extra money on people who have an empty unit before a family can actually move in? Thank you.
I was so worried no one was going to ask me any questions, so thank you. First of all, there are quite a number of units that are empty, and we're paying for them. But the moment that a owner has committed to that property with us and they're under contract, that begins the date. Placing a person into that unit is FEMA's responsibility. That has no bearing on your responsibility. You've provided your unit, it's available to us, it begins. The vast majority of them are 12 months with a 6-month extension and a 6-month extension. As incredible work as our partners are doing, we know it's probably going to be longer than certainly that first year. And so, but yeah, that's your date start. Also, I want to kind of bring up one of the issues, and it's part of the reasons, most of the reason why there are vacant units. We have committed to offer a number of different times to people to say, hey, we're going to do your background check. That takes a little bit of while. We've matched you to a unit, sit down with you and say, okay, this is the unit. And then we finally tell you, here's where it is. And people are saying no. I understand you're from Lahaina. You are Lahaina. You live in Lahaina and you want to stay in Lahaina. We want you to also. And so it's important for you to recognize we also want you to be safe. We also want you to have a kitchen. We want you to have some color. And it may require you to drive a little bit out of Lahaina for a short time for us to make sure that we can do our whole mission, complete everything we need to do for you. And so it's an ask. It's almost a beg sometimes because we have people that really, we need to spend some time focusing on some other issues, more things like the color, like the swimming pool, which I was just at yesterday, and those neighborhoods to get you to and from your ball fields. And so we need your help to be a little bit more generous as you've been generous with us, as you've taught us how to live in Hawaii and be in Lahaina and Maui, to try to stretch a little bit and perhaps take some of these units that are not perfect. They're nice units, they're just not in Lahaina. And drive a bit, and we're going to get you back to Lahaina just as quickly as we possibly can.
And he will be here later too. Go ahead, Cynthia, and then we'll go to Sharon.
Thank you.
There too. Okay.
Okay, I'm born and raised here in Lahaina. I grew up and lived here all my life. I have a property. Army Corps of Engineers came in, cleaned it all out, and I'm planning to rebuild. And I'm happy to hear about other people who are doing the same, and what the mayor is doing, the county and the Corps of Engineers doing, cleaning up Lahaina town. My question is, are we going to preserve any of the old Lahaina town sites for future generations before the Corps of Engineers wipe out the whole town?
So our focus group on community planning, they are working on a larger holistic plan of that. So I really hope people attend the neighborhood planning workshops, because in those workshops, they spend hours talking to all the families about what they hope to see, and what things matter the most and what makes it unique. So it's too premature now to detail everything out, but the input right now is valuable.
Yes, I think my thing is that we need to identify those sites before the Corps of Engineers take it away.
So if you've identified sites that are of particular interest, the folks that we want to hear from you are the community planning team. They were here a few meetings ago. Sounds like we need to keep bringing them back, because that community planning team is the one that's collecting the information and the stories from Lahaina, and coming up with some way to put it all together and then come out back to the community to talk about what Lahaina will look like. So we're not quite there yet, but if you do have sites, then can you come see us after, myself or Cynthia right behind you, and we'll try to get that list from you or connect you to that team directly.
Okay, I'll talk to Cynthia.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Sharon.
I have 3.
Okay, 3. Okay, thank you for waiting so patiently. Go ahead.
Aloha, I'm Sharice. And my question is, first of all, how much is it cost for the building permits? And are we gonna get resources for that? And where, all the resources, how much is there for the working class? Because I work directly with survivors, and like FEMA was saying, you want us to relocate, and I have relocated. And I have a lot of family who has relocated on our own without FEMA's help. But now the new situation is FEMA and the state want everybody to relocate. My family also works for the county in Lahaina. So now he's driving from Kula all the way to Lahaina every day. So who's gonna help to pay for his gas, which goes for everybody who's relocating, who's paying for the gas? Because my job is to help everybody get back to some kind of normal that we were at before the fire. So we didn't pay for gas. So these are the resources. I'm wondering, where is it? We have the Hawaii Community Foundation, like I brought up last week, which I'm very happy that is online. We can all see it. We can see where the money is going, but we're the ones that people are donating to. So can Hawaii Community Foundation be here so that we can tell them what we need? So maybe next week or sometime soon we can have somebody here so we can collaborate with them.
So for your 2 questions, I'm going to let Mike talk about the permitting. We are happy to extend an invite to Hawaii Community Foundation. They've been great partners to work with. Just having them here with all of you will probably be a good thing. So happy to do that. Okay. Mike, you want to talk about the cost of the permit?
So like everything else, it's individual. So dependent on the size, the number of structures going in, it's going to vary. But if you call our center or you call me, during the week, I can punch it in the computer, the idea of what you're looking to build, and give you a really accurate estimate on the cost. $4,000 to $6,000 for an ohana and a single family dwelling, give or take.
Okay. Sharon at the top. Go ahead, sir.
So I guess this would be in regards to FEMA with the direct lease program and how long everything takes. We were offered a place, we accepted it, and there was issues. We took it up with you guys, back up with you guys. You guys are supposed to address the issues. Never got called. We would follow up. We was proactive on following up. Then we finally get a call saying, okay, it's clean, or the issues has been addressed. We went and took a look. Everything is in the same place it was when we told you guys about the issues. So that's kind of my feeling that I already had was going to happen anyway. And you guys was going to say you're going to rematch us. So now we're waiting for that. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is you guys have these units that you guys save empty, paying for them. And you guys saying, oh, it's all you have is all on the other side. But I see listings on Zillow. I inquire about them, even though I know it's way out of my price range, $6,000, freaking $6,500 a month. That's way out of my price range, but I still inquiring about them just to see if I can even get them. Why you guys don't use the money that you paying for the empty places for the direct lease and pay for these places that's in the Pili, Honokowai, and let us all stay on this side? You guys keep saying no more units, but I see them listed on Zillow. I mean, you guys say use the rental assistance program, but the rental assistance program ain't gonna cover that whole amount. So I don't understand why you guys cannot be creative and use the amount you paying, $8,600 a month in the direct lease program units, and pay for that $6,000 unit or home that we see in the Pili and help us out that way. It's kind of, I don't know if that's one question that you can answer, but it's a little bit of venting to you.
You'll be surprised to know that not everyone wants to deal with the federal government. We do have, if you do find a unit that's in Lahaina, we want to book it. We want to lease it. We're consistently calling, checking on, we're not good on Coconut Wireless and we can't use WhatsApp, but there are other ways for us to find it. And a number of you have helped us find units. Our federal procurement process is cumbersome. That's a nice way to say it. It does take a while to get us into leases. We did find not just your unit, but a number of the units that we had under contract that were not yet filled. We went and re-inspected them all over the last 2.5 weeks and found quite a number of them that needed some upkeep. Some because they were just empty and there are a few bugs. Some probably should not have been in our program. Quite a number of them, we stopped our agreement with those property owners because we found the initial inspection was inadequate. That's on us. That's our fault. Your particular unit, if we can look at it, we have our direct lease team right back here that we can talk to you about it and see what we can do. I'd be happy to talk to you about it, and we'll send somebody out to try to work on it. I wish that were the only one. There are a number. And we have people doing the best we can, but we want you in Lahaina. You want to be here too.
Okay, well, my next one is in regards to, I mean, I think it's great. Yeah, the kids, I have kids of my own. I have my own keiki. They do sports as well. Talking about the parks and the pool. I live right next to the pool down in Lahaina, our house in Bern. If you going push to get that being operational fast, then I hope you consider pushing where I can go back, take my keiki where they like be on our lot, on our property, home, put up something temporary, because that's colorful for me. That's the color they need, is for be home. So I'm not taking away anything everybody is saying. You know what I mean? I support that. But what I'm saying is make sure that we are still implemented in that, because that's where they like be. And that's my push as a parent for my kids, is for give them that answer that they keep asking me every day, for go home and be safe to go home. So if that can be safe for do, make sure it's safe for me for go home at the same time. And that's all I get to say.
That's fair.
Thank you. Mahalo for that. Sharon, you had a third person right there. Oh, okay. And then we're gonna, and then here, and then I see you way over there waving double hands. Okay. All right. Where do we go? Go ahead.
This is for the Colonel. I just wanted to mention if we can be a lot easier on the ROEs. We do have some families that are battling different issues. It makes them feel like they're not complying because some people are battling trust issues, meaning legalities and having a clear title. So it's not like they wanted to hurry up and get it done, but because it's a legal issue that it has stopped in some areas, they can't get it cleared. So, or it can't get it cleared. So that's one of the things, you know, if we, I mean, yes, it is to be notified. Not everybody's in that same situation, but to be concerned as well with those that don't, that would like it cleared, but has to go through some legal issues, either having a family member pass, clearing it for through their legal ways. Some people that has so many owners and had passed or perished within the fire and has not cleared. So, you know, I'm just sharing that. That's all.
No, I appreciate that feedback. I think the population I'm trying to get to are the ones that haven't reached out to the county at all. So if you know someone that's in that situation, I would just ask them to just reach out to the county and start the conversation. And if there are those issues, there are resources to try to help with those. But just to get that property on our radar or get it on the county's radar, to know that you're at least interested in having a conversation, I think that's important. The ones that haven't done anything, haven't reached out, we can't get a hold of, the county can't get a hold of, they're the ones I'm concerned about. If you reached out and there's I acknowledge there's a dozen reasons why people who are interested in the program and are having any one of a dozen different struggles. You know, I'm okay. Like that to me that's great. We're working through the process, but by telling the county that you know of your situation, I'm hopeful that the county who has resources, FEMA has resources. We can apply those to that situation to try to help the individual get to their desired end state, which is either to opt in or to opt out. But you know that's the decision that we're trying to get to. But I do respect that there are lots of issues, and I don't want to force anyone. When I say I want to have tea with people, I just want to have a conversation and see what questions they have and how we could answer them to get to either a decision to opt in or a decision to opt out. So
Thank you, Colonel,
thanks.
and thank you for that question. We'll go here. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I have a Minatoya list question for the mayor. In the Minatoya list, there are more than just apartment zones. There's also agriculture, which is where we are. And we're wondering, is the plan to eliminate the Minatoya list, to reduce it? We know it has a long way to go with the county council, but kind of what is your position on what you would like to see happen?
Yeah, right now we're just focused on getting those units that can still be used for long-term rental. I mean, that's our key. We know there are going to be some exceptions. We know we have some people who live on island and have units there. We know we have many people who don't live on island and have units there. We understand there are lots of different, as we go through this process and as we get more input, we're going to have a better idea of exactly how to shape this. This is just the start of the conversation. I can't tell you where it's going to end, But since I have the mic, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I want to thank Anita, who was here earlier, and she just brought me this late today. We want the exact same things that you folks want. Okay. We want the exact same things you guys want, which is to put you back on your homes, put you back on your lots, and do what's best for your mental health, your physical health. You folks have some really, really good ideas that you've been sharing tonight, and we're going to take them back to our departments. We're not making these decisions without your input. Kim Ball, from the second time I met him, not the first, it was the first time we just met each other. I never knew Kim before he came on my advisory team. And what he said to me from that point, and he says now, is, Rick, when can we open the pool? You guys do have input. Kaliko has been telling me since she's been on my advisory team, when are we going to get our parks back? It's not that we haven't heard and we haven't listened. Plenty priorities. And I'm sure we've made many mistakes. Yeah, I'm sure of that. None of them on purpose. We can have this discussion. Brother, when you're done, you come down, we talk story. Yeah. Instead of just nodding your head, you come down, we talk story. Like everybody else who's come here every Wednesday that's wanted to share their thoughts. We haven't turned anybody away. We're not shutting anybody off. We're happy for the input. We need the input. You guys do have input. This community. I mean, I'm sure many of you wish, maybe you want to be on the advisory team. Maybe you don't want to be on the advisory team. You can send letters. You can call in. We're here to listen to you folks. You guys know more things about your community than we know. Yeah. But we're here to help. That's all I can tell you. And I'm sorry that we're not moving fast enough. Or we're not making your particular priority our priority. But we are. I know it doesn't seem that way. We're trying to please everybody as much as we can. But again, our departments, when you guys talk about government, the government, we are the government. The government is the employees, the people from Lahaina, the people that live in Lahaina and that work from Lahaina. Yeah, that's all part of our government. The main thing we can do is come, and the reason we come here is to get your input, not to tell you what you need. We'll tell you where we're at, but we're listening to what you folks want. And we're just trying to get it as best we can. We know that's a priority. We know you guys have ideas. We know you guys are willing to go in right now with traffic and with everything else that's happening. Let's just chance them. Let's just go in. See what happens. Let's develop a plan. Let's put our heads together. We don't have to fight with each other, you guys. We can all try to contribute the parts that we can. So please, let us know what you guys want. Come up as everyone has invited you to after this, and let us know where else we can make some adjustments. We're going to talk to the water. You shouldn't be getting a water bill if you cannot drink the water. Okay, so I think that's pretty simple. On permits, we had it printed out somewhere that it was half off for those. We weren't charging the full amount of permits for permits. So we are trying to make some of the adjustments as we can. This is the first time I heard about the gasoline. Maybe we can obviously work on getting some gas cards for the folks that are put in those situations. From you guys, from FEMA.
Yeah,
Well, they're the
government.
ones gave you the house in Kula, right? Wasn't us. So maybe we make a deal that if you got to move out of Lahaina, it comes with a gas card or something. Yeah? So you guys agree with that? Okay, good. Thank you, FEMA. if that's one of the issues, I know that's not the only issue. So you guys, we can get some good ideas from these meetings. Thank you guys for listening to us.
We have a question up at the top. We'll continue. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the commitment on gas cards, FEMA.
Excellent.
Todd, his name
excellent.
is Todd, who's? Go ahead, ma'am, sorry.
Aloha. It is 9 months today since the wildfires. Senator Brian Schatz today said on the news that the money's running out for Lahaina. And maybe he knows something we don't know, but he's pleading to Congress to act and to get more money. So maybe somebody could follow up on that with Senator Brian Schatz. And my observation is the EPA was in the Wahikuli area where I live, and they were testing the lateral lines, and our lines are contaminated. So they had to put a cap, which basically ruins the idea for me to put a tiny home, modular home, or trailer, which I bought, on my property to live. But if I don't have water and they've already capped the lines, my next question would be for Bob Fenton from FEMA. But Bob's not here, but maybe we can follow up with him, because I personally saw on Bob's phone some modular housing that he was looking at for the West Maui area, especially for those people who have pets, because so many of us cannot find housing because we have pets. My pets survived too. I went back to the burn zone a week later, called for my cats, and they came running. It was a very teary moment, but those are my children. So yes, they have to come with me. And no, I don't want to be commuting from the other side. I just opened up a West Maui-based business a few months prior to the fire. I need to stay on the west side. But maybe these are things somebody can follow up with Bob Fenton or anybody else with FEMA, modular homes, tiny homes, just somewhere that we can hook up to infrastructure, because there's a whole lot of building going on over here on the old Kane Road, which is, by the way, directly behind my house.
Okay, I think we can take those questions. We'll have EPA answer first, and then I'm interested that you saw Bob Fenton appointed by President Biden, but you had access to his cell phone. So that's a little interesting, but I saw the same modular home. So we'll have FEMA address that. To the question about U.S. Senator Schatz, we are in constant communication with his office at a very hyper level. He's a terrific advocate for us. The fact that Senator Schatz is before Congress and showing up support for us and the way he is exactly what we need as we enter this next stage from response to recovery. So mahalo for paying attention to what Senator Schatz is saying. We will convey to his office that his constituents are listening and appreciate that as well. So EPA, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Miguel Moreno. I'm the incident commander for EPA. So we are working out there. There are, if we find during our testing that one of the lines is contaminated, the laterals, so it's the line that goes from the main to the home, that is then isolated, it's cut and capped. We are working closely with the county. If there is a standing structure, we are working hard to put those towards the end of the of all of our testing, or prioritizing just a replacement of that line that has a standing structure. However, if there's no standing structure in that, there was no the line was already closed anyways. Is your home a standing structure?
Our house has not yet been cleared of the debris, but of course the EPA tested all the lines, and they were there digging up the road, and they had to cap basically our whole street. And there is many, many in the Wahikuli district.
Yeah, we would like to get more information from you. If you can step with our public information officer over there. we can
Yes.
we can talk one-on-one and then be prepared to answer your questions better.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I just have one more comment. While I was at the property today, why in the heck was a cruise ship going past Lahaina town between Lahaina and Lanai? It looked like one of those inter-island cruise ships. I don't see why our disaster has to be a tourist attraction.
Thank you. We did receive quite a bit of community input on that one as far as which cruise line or anything. I don't have the details, but absolutely, it's come to our attention as well. FEMA, would you like to answer the modular home?
Yes,
then we're
thank you
gonna
for telling
take
us what
one
was on
person.
Bob's phone. The we've always wondered, since we got here, I've been here, I'm in my 8th month here, and Bob was actually here before us, the regional administrator, and he has been, as we should be, he's been actively pursuing any housing option. One of those options has been tiny homes, prefab homes, modular, and so he's been to every site that we've even heard of, and gotten presentations probably more than he ever wanted to about what's going to be best for Lahaina, what's going to be best for Kula, what's going to be best for our Kilohana site, which is the group housing site that's going to be above. Yes. And in fact, they went out to bid. And in going out to bid, they just closed the bid. And so I believe late May, it's late May, could be early June, they're going to decide on exactly which vendors, which manufacturers are going to provide the very best product for us to put on those temporary sites that are above Wahikuli. And so, yes, he does have a number of them. And yes, we are pursuing those particular structures. It has not yet been decided. We put a lot of effort into trying to find a Hawaiian provider, a Hawaiian vendor. And so there's certainly some consideration for that, but by offering it to everyone and giving everyone an opportunity to bid, we're hoping for the best. We want to keep the dollars that came to Hawaii in Hawaii, just like you do.
Thank you, Todd. We have 2 more questions we're going to take right there with Shannon, and then in the middle, Sharon, right in that middle row, and then we'll let Mayor Bisson close for tonight. Shannon?
Aloha, my question is for Red Cross. I know the answer to this, but I think it's really important for our community members to know, because I found this out through Coconut Wireless and not through Red Cross. So I just transitioned in from the hotel, found our own place into housing. And so I've heard that there is assistance available based on need for essential items, right? So like FEMA's helping, when you find a place, it's furnished and everything, right? But the people who are finding their own places, with our house burned down and stuff, like essential items such as like furniture or kitchen items or whatever it is. So is there assistance available to our community members when they're transitioning?
Thank you for that question. It's great to see you again. And we did have that conversation last week, and I'm really happy for the opportunity to clarify this. So yes, on a needs-based, case-by-case basis, there are funds available to help you transition more safely, either back to your habitable home or whatever independent housing solution you have found. FEMA direct lease units are fully furnished, but if there is something that's needed there, go speak with your Red Cross Shelter Resident Transition Team. They're there to help you. Additionally, Salvation Army has stepped up to offer assistance based on referral through Red Cross. So again, if you've identified something that you need, take that list to your Red Cross worker and let them know. Whether you have a cost estimate or an itemized list, they are more than happy to work with you to make sure you have those essential items, safety items. I know that Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement has a great deal of home goods that they can provide. So whether Red Cross can meet your need directly or indirectly through partnerships, definitely do have that conversation. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Shannon. Our last questions in the middle, and then we're going to go have Mayor Bisson close us off. Go ahead, ma'am.
on Clifton Akiyama's question, would it be an appropriate place to have input as far as what you want to see for our community on the MauiRecovers.org online community survey under planning and rebuilding? And if so, what is the final date that you can submit the survey application online?
I don't know the survey deadline that's online. That's a really good question. If you have input that is beyond what the survey has, I know there is an email address to send comments to. We have 2 to 3 people that take 10 questions a day. So that's like a few hundred a month sometimes. And so absolutely they can route that to the right division or team. Does that help a little?
Do you know when the online community survey for the planning and rebuilding is that May 15th? Is that when it closes?
Yeah, I don't
think
know.
They do. I think they do have a space for comments in that survey.
Looks like someone on our team does. So I'm going to hand this over to Lois Whitney. She's a Deputy Director of Communications, Government Affairs, and she can give you the correct answer. Okay.
I'm so glad somebody brought this up. Thank you for asking that. So the response period has been extended through Sunday, May 19th. And we also wanted to let you know that now the survey is also available in other languages. It's been translated so that people can take the survey itself in English, plus Hawaiian, Ilocano, Spanish, Tagalog, and Tongan. So if you go to that page on Maui Recovers and you click on the feedback tab, scroll down on the surveys right there, and you can choose the language that you'd like to take the survey in. So that's really exciting. So hope you all can take the survey. And it will also put out a notification tomorrow. So we get that on text and email with the link. Thank you.
Thank you. And my other
Thank you, Lois.
question is, right after the fire, I believe Bishop Estate allowed some of their property for an emergency kind of road to be built above the bypass for Lahaina Luna School. As far as they own approximately 200 acres below the bypass, and they have access before the checkpoint that gets into the burn zone in Lahaina. So could we approach the Bishop Estate Kamehameha schools to put in a road from Lahaina Luna, so you don't have to go through a checkpoint, through their property over to the aquatic center, and then just put a dust fence around the skate park, the ballparks, the aquatic center, so that if there is still cleanup going around, that area is safe and have an access that way. So we're not using cane roads. We're not going to be in the way of the Army Corps of Engineers cleanup, and would not have to go through any checkpoints whatsoever by accessing a temporary or even a permanent road to connect Lahaina Luna over to the recreational park.
Okay, we're going to take that to our team because that's a suggestion that we would need to vet out. Snake, I see you pointing at some action. Oh, okay. NT has a question. So we're going to let NT have the last question of the night, which means Cynthia is going to come down with a microphone. Here she comes. Or Mayor's going to give you his microphone. And then Cynthia can hand off your mic to Mayor. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, my name's Carol, and it's for the mayor and possibly the governor.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor just gave you his mic,
heard-
though.
I know, I told him it's going to be for him. I have a lot of people who have said, I'm out of here. And today I was in a business and this lady was angry and she said, I'm out of here and I'm selling to the highest bidder. Now, I think you and maybe it was governor said no outside buyers. So what's to keep people to selling from bigger monies coming in so they get to profit? And we can keep it Maui people.
So I think there is more than one land trust set up here. Yes. You're sitting right next to someone who knows a lot about this, Mikey, and Tamara Paulton and others. So I can't recall exactly what the governor was referring to, but I think what we were talking about early on is having those properties be bought up by the land trust so we can hold on. I mean, a lot of uses for that. People, if they wanted to, could come back and purchase them back later. They could also be put into the hands of other Lahaina people. So that was the general idea behind that.
Yeah, but if they say I'm out of here,
Yeah, I mean,
they can sell to anybody. But how do
absolutely,
we
they can
keep
sell to
the
that.
mainland?
But one of the options is that having a buyer who is willing to buy those from here, the land trust. That was the idea behind that.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and close tonight. Just a reminder, next week is downstairs. And Mayor, and your closing?
So I wanted to just say that as far as the cost of permits is going, there will be a presentation on that next week. I did text Jordi Molina, our Director of Public Works. He sent me an answer. And also Four Leaf is also going to come back. It's a formula. So it's going to be based on your situation. But we'll have a very complete slide on that for next week. But, you know, everybody, I just wanted to say thank you again. Your input is very valuable. We're going to go back to parks. We're going to work on some of these suggestions that were made. And we'll see everybody back next week. Mahalo.